everyone, so Cataclysm Classic is finally getting some love, and it's about time I think, although I do have a few teeny doubts about the auction house. So we're right at the end of January now, with Dragon Soul, the final raid, due in February. The first round of Dragon Soul testing was last weekend, and the second round is going to be this weekend, which is a bit of a clash for Season Discovery players, with they're actually having their final round of Naxxramas testing over this weekend too, but I guess that can't be helped. The PvP season ends Monday the 10th of February, which isn't long at all. Generally, you do expect a 2-week gap based on previous patch cadences. So my predicted timeline would be something like the PvP season ending on the 10th. Maybe on the 13th, there could be like a phase 4 soft launch. So the new Hour of Twilight dungeons and the Protocol dungeons. And then the 20th, you could look at Dragon Soul Raid, with the 25th being the PvP season starting and Baradin Hold getting its new boss. So that would be my prediction. Based on nothing but my own thoughts and feelings, I just see that they're in a routine of opening the dungeons a week early and Baradin Hold a week late. They said February, so leaving Dragon Soul until literally the last day of February would be pretty weird and annoying. I guess one thing that could be a bit sticky though is Raid Finder. So we're not getting that right now. Development has been paused on it. They've made an announcement last night on that. Sort of agree with this one. Raid Finder is going to be really hard to get right. You've got issues with filling groups, then the tuning required. It's going to be kind of ridiculous. It needs to be easy enough for me to play my 11th Ort, who I forgot to train Mastery on, without ruining the raid for everyone else, but hard enough so that competent raiders aren't going to free man it. But also, from last night's data mining, is the auction house update. So it looks like we're finally getting the retail auction house. I'm actually not the biggest fan. I was until I used it in the War Within, and now I'm frankly just a bit nervous. I didn't actually mind the part where it was broken, as I found a workaround, but once it was fixed, it just seemed like a messy, skillless race to the bottom. I think in large part the experience that we have with the auction house is going to depend on what happens to the servers themselves, and will they be regional. So it was said a little while ago that there was going to be some kind of server merging going on, but nothing's really been said about that yet. The auction house changes, along with a few other changes to the auction house in retail, made a number of really, really rich gold makers, but then everyone else was just stuck farming or buying tokens. On PTR, for the auction house change to take effect, it's going to be offline for 48 hours. So we're going to expect the same thing to happen on live, which is going to be pretty wild to actually see all the prices reset. It would make sense if they're going to do the server merges to actually combine the two things, but I guess we'll see what happens. Interesting couple of months ahead of us either way. The new dungeons and dungeon protocol are coming. This is going to enable some really speedy gearing up. It's going to be interesting to see how they integrate the Raid Finder loot now though. It's hard to imagine how it's actually going to work, but they have said that the Raid Finder gear is going to be obtainable through a non-raiding way, even without Raid Finder coming in. That's pretty nice. On Dragon Soul gear, there really is an emphasis on some really cool procs. So even if you haven't got the item level, just getting the proc is going to make a really big deal for your character. Profession wise, some recipes were data mined last night. The items aren't new, but having a recipe for them is new. It might not come to anything, but it's definitely worth knowing about and considering. Then you've got the epic gems. We don't have a transmute in Cataclysm, and you can't prospect the raw gems either, which means they're going to be very high in demand. You need to get your bag of gems from Dragon Soul and then have a jewel craft to cut them. It's the same jewel crafting token that we've had all the expansion. So if you're behind on your dailies, it is time to pull your finger out and get some tokens before launch. You do have plenty of time though. I'm having tons of fun in Cataclysm right now. It's a great time to get back in and get ready for Mr. Pandaria. The end of expansion power creep is so strong in Cataclysm that I'm excited to try out some new boosts and some farms. Well, that's quite a lot of changes and potential changes that are coming up right now. I would love to hear what you're thinking of how that all looks so far. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. Please do take a minute to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye!